Karen loved rules the way tyrants love power, not for order, but for control. At exactly 6:03 a.m., while the neighborhood was still half asleep, she stood on a manicured sidewalk in her beige blazer, oversized sunglasses, and clipboard stamped HOA president, recording a shaky video on her phone. Violation confirmed, she said smugly, zooming in. The target? A faded American flag hanging quietly from a small porch. The house belonged to a disabled war veteran who just moved in 3 weeks earlier. He hadn't even finished unpacking. His wheelchair ramp was still temporary. But Karen didn't care. She uploaded the clip to the HOA group chat with one sentence. Open quote. Flag not compliant with community aesthetic standards. Fine, $500. Close quote. By noon, she had plastered a neon orange violation notice on his door like a public scarlet letter. When the veteran opened the door, Karen didn't greet him. She didn't even look him in the eyes. She just said coldly, "You have 48 hours to remove it or the fine doubles." He stared at her, confused. "That flag was folded over my father's coffin," he said quietly. "He died in Iraq." Karen blinked once, then smirked. "This isn't a military base. This is a private community." And that's when she made the fatal mistake. She added one more line to the notice, in bold, open quote, repeat offenders subject to public disciplinary review, close quote. She thought she was humiliating him. She had no idea she had just activated the entire town. Karen didn't expect the veteran to fight back. She expected him to quietly pay, take the flag down, and disappear like everyone else. Instead, at 11:47 p.m. that night, he posted the HOA violation notice on a small local Facebook group with one caption, open quote, "Is it legal for an HOA to fine a disabled veteran for a memorial flag?" Close quote. By morning, the post had 17,000 shares. By noon, someone had clipped Karen's own HOA video and turned it into a TikTok with the caption, open quote, "POV, you survived war, but not a suburban dictator. Close quote. Karen woke up famous. Her phone exploded with notifications. Strangers flooded the HOA page. Someone dug up her old posts, dozens of videos of her yelling at neighbors, issuing fines for wrong-colored flowers, unapproved lawn chairs, even a child's chalk drawing. The comments turned brutal. Open quote, "This woman is a sociopath. She's power tripping in a gated community. Imagine being this evil over a flag." Close quote. Local news picked it up. A reporter showed up at the veteran's house first. He calmly explained everything on camera, including the part about his father's funeral. Then the reporter went to Karen. She smiled for the camera. "This has nothing to do with patriotism," she said. "It's about compliance." That single word destroyed her. Within hours, #comply with Karen was trending. Memes flooded the internet, her face photoshopped onto dictators, prison wardens, even cartoon villains. But the real twist? Someone leaked a screenshot from the HOA system. Karen hadn't just fined him, she had manually flagged his home as high-risk resident, which meant every future complaint, inspection, or penalty would automatically target him first. The town realized something chilling. This wasn't rules. This was a personal hit list. And Karen was the one controlling it. Quick pause. If this story is hitting, like, share, and subscribe, and tell us where you're watching from in the comments. Karen thought the backlash would fade. She had survived complaints before, angry emails, threats of lawsuits, even a recall vote that mysteriously failed 2 years earlier. So she did what she always did. She tightened control. She locked the HOA Facebook page, disabled comments, issued a mass email warning residents that external harassment would result in fines for reputational damage to the community. That email became Exhibit A because one person didn't get intimidated. A quiet woman from 3 streets over, a former municipal auditor, recognized something familiar in the leaked screenshot. Not cruelty. Abuse of administrative systems. She filed a formal public records request. Then another. Then 10 more. What came back wasn't just about the veteran. It was a pattern. Karen had created priority resident tags on over 40 homes. Every single one belonged to people who had previously challenged her authority. Single mothers, elderly retirees, renters, immigrants, anyone who spoke up got flagged, which meant higher fines, more inspections, faster penalties. It was digital blacklisting, and it was illegal. The auditor forwarded everything to the city. That's when the real nightmare began. The city launched a compliance audit on the HOA. Karen received the notice letter at 8:12 a.m. By 8:13, she tried to delete the system logs, but the software had already mirrored the data. including something worse. A private note field attached to the veteran's profile, written by Karen herself. Open quote, non-compliant, plays victim, needs to be taught a lesson. Close quote. That line turned the case from HOA dispute into intentional harassment. The city didn't just see a rogue HOA president, they saw systematic targeting. And now Karen wasn't being watched by neighbors anymore, she was being watched by lawyers. The public hearing was scheduled for a Tuesday morning. Karen arrived early. Same beige blazer, same clipboard, same forced smile. But this time, the room wasn't full of scared homeowners. It was full of cameras, local news, independent journalists, even a live stream with over 60,000 viewers waiting. She took her seat at the front table, confident at first, until the veteran rolled in. The entire room stood, not out of sympathy, out of respect. The city attorney began with the flag, then the fines, then the priority residence system, then, finally, the note. The words appeared on the big screen behind Karen. Open quote, non-compliant, plays victim, needs to be taught a lesson. Close quote. A murmur spread across the room. Karen laughed nervously. That's out of context. The attorney didn't respond. She just played Karen's own HOA video again, the one where she smirked and said, "This isn't a military base. This is a private community." Side by side with the note, same tone, same attitude, same intent. Then came the final twist. The auditor revealed Karen had never been legally elected. She had manipulated quorum records for 3 consecutive years, which meant every fine she issued was invalid. Every dollar collected, illegally obtained. The city froze the HOA accounts on the spot. Residents were ordered to be refunded. Karen wasn't removed. She was disqualified. Permanently barred from holding any HOA position in the state. As she stood to leave, someone in the crowd called out, "Hey Karen, comply." The room erupted in laughter. The veteran didn't say a word, he just adjusted his flag, and the entire town applauded. If this story exposed something real to you, like, share, and subscribe, and tell us where you're watching from in the comments, because sometimes the smallest flag reveals the biggest tyrant.